Late last night from being on the campaign trail, telling a crowd in Iowa on Monday he's, quote, willing to go to jail as he slammed federal Judge Tanya Chutkan's limited gag order against him in the election interference case. So a limited gag order in the state trial, a limited gag order in the federal trial. New York City trial attorney and former prosecutor Arthur Aidala is here. Good to see you once again, sir.
Hi, Adrienne. How are you? And, I just so you know, that's the courthouse that I go to all the time. Luckily, I don't have to be there today because it's a total madhouse when President Trump goes down there with, appropriately so with security, etc. Also, I was fortunate enough before President Trump was even running to, through a mutual friend, meet Michael Cohen. And, they literally sat, I went to Michael Cohen's office. They literally sat next to each other, President Trump and Michael Cohen, and they were very close.
They were at one time, not anymore.
I could see those fireworks and the emotions and the drama of it all unfolding. And I guess a lot of that is faded today since Mr. Cohen allegedly has got to go to the doctor.
Well, yeah, we're going to find out if the fireworks happen next week because betrayal is a bitter pill to swallow. I have a question for you. In terms of this state case, is this a win for Letitia James?
Well, so far, yes. And what's interesting, and you guys just mentioned, she's asking for a fine of $250 million, not what we call restitution. So a fine is pure punishment. It's not paying someone back. And I think the interesting thing for folks who watch Law and Order and watch, these law shows is that there was no loss here. There was no victim here. It's not we're asking for $250 million because Chase Bank or Citibank got robbed or lost that amount of money. They're asking for $250 million, which would go right to the government because they're saying he should be punished for having lied on these forms, which they are allowed to do. I will say it is not a very typical lawsuit here in the state of New York.
It's not a typical penalty. In terms of this gag order in the federal case, we've never seen a leading presidential candidate in a moment like this. But when the courts are repeatedly saying his comments are defamatory, they're threatening, amounting to a smear campaign, is that really true? Or are they just tired of hearing him talk and they want to use their full judicial powers?
Well, I can only speak from experience. And experience is not only don't you hear these things from a person running for the leading candidate for president of the United States in the Republican Party, but you usually don't hear it from any defendant. I've represented some pretty high-profile people, and my initial remarks to them is, yesterday actually it happened, the quieter you are, the better it will serve you in your trial. So it's not, these are uncharted waters. I will tell you, judges do keep a tight watch on what the lawyers say. So I have been scolded by judges when, I'll go on a show like this and talk about a trial that I'm in the middle of. So it's not so unprecedented that a judge keeps a close watch on the public statements, but especially those that are attacking people. And in the Manhattan case right now, there's a gag order, but there's no jury there. That was really about the judge protecting someone on his staff. But in the Washington case, there is going to be a jury there. And she doesn't want statements made by President Trump to overly taint that jury. But she's threading the needle, saying he can attack the Department of Justice. He can attack the president of President Biden, but he can't attack the people of Washington, D.C., or specifically this specific prosecutor on the case. So she's trying to, as I said, thread the needle between maintaining the decorum of a trial and not trampling on his First Amendment rights to be able to speak.
Yeah, and thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.